Sam, why don't you start us off with number 3, your number 3 all-time bust?
I just want to start by saying I saved Mitchell Trubisky for you because I'm that kind of a guy. I let you have Trubisky. I also, on line 4, honorable mention, Brian Bosworth, Oklahoma.
Strong.
I mean, that's a really big bust. I didn't put him top 3, though, because I don't want him to find out and then beat me up after he sees the graphic. So that said, number 3 for me was the second pick in 2021. And he was touted as the pretty gunslinger from BYU. After Trevor Lawrence went 1, Zach Wilson went 2. And he was going to save the New York Jets. And he did not. 3-10 in year number 1. 9 touchdowns, 11 picks, 2,300 yards. Not a great season. Year 2, 9 games started only, 5-4, 6 touchdowns, 7 picks. And then the last year, 23, 4-7, 8 touchdowns, 7 picks. This was a guy who threw the ball all over the yard. And I think scouts fell for the good-looking, spiky hair, chiseled jaw. They just fell for him as a looker and not a player. And they also looked at the fun and gun style at BYU and thought that that's going to translate to the NFL. Did not. There wasn't defense in any of those games. And the fact that he went second, contextually, 8 slots higher than Patrick Mahomes went the year Mahomes was drafted. So Mahomes goes 10, Zach Wilson went 2. He wasn't a complete and total bust, but he was definitely top 3 for me. Like, he just did nothing in the NFL. And when you take a quarterback in the top 2 or top 3, they better hit, or your franchise has to sign Aaron Rodgers at 39. Right? That's what happened. Not only did Zach Wilson bust himself, his bust led to them making one of the worst moves you could possibly make, bringing in Aaron Rodgers. So it's twofold with Wilson. Number 2 was the first bust that ever affected me as a young sports fan. He went 12th overall in 1999. I was 10 years old. My dad got me a jersey. Number 8, smooth, silky, UCLA star Cade McNown. Oh, yeah. This player is what sports radio was built for because it was just open season. He was awful. He was also a prick. And I think that's what made it worse. You look at his face. What was the line? Adam Scott, Step Brothers, I just want to punch you in the face. That's Cade McNown. But he carried himself like a Hall of Famer. He only started 15 games in his career. That's how bad he was.
Wow.
After year two, over. He played 15 games in 99, started 6 of them, went 2-4, and then went 1-8 in 2000, and that was it. The career was over. But I'll never forget, because when you're 8, 9, 10, that's when you're in your biggest fandom, if you do it right. You're too young at 5, 6. Even as somebody, when Jordan had 6 rings, I was 9. I wasn't old enough to really appreciate it and really get invested day to day. When you're 10, that's prime sports fan, at least for me. And I was 10 when they took Cade McNown, and I was sold the bill of goods. It was not a good bill. No. It was awful. Nope. Number one for me is easy. It is, I'm reading a scouting report right now on this quarterback. He has a rocket launcher for an arm, a big body, and the most impressive athleticism I've ever seen. Problem was, this quarterback did not care and did not watch film and did not study and wasn't in shape. And when the Vegas, now Vegas, then Oakland Raiders, sent him tapes to study before the draft, he said, "Oh yeah, I really, I thought this was interesting. I liked the film." The tapes were blank. They didn't have anything on them. And he lied about studying the film that the Raiders sent him. Jamarcus Russell. such a stud at LSU and maybe one of the most impressive athletic profiles we've ever seen. He could throw it 50 yards on his knees. He could do all this. Jamarcus Russell was a disaster and never obviously panned out. But the problem with that is that it, again, leads to bigger issues down the road for your franchise. And I don't think the Raiders have really ever recovered from Jamarcus Russell. I mean, look at the time that they took him and then look at how the Raiders have trended since that point. It was a colossal failure. And I don't want to say you're still feeling the benefits from it or the lack of benefits from it, but that one sets your franchise back 10 years. And just the way that he was perceived and talked about and paraded out there as one of the best prospects of all time, he didn't even come close to matching a sliver of the hype and the hope. So for me, that was easy. Jamarcus Russell, biggest draft bust, in my opinion, of all time.
I picked a bust from 3 different decades. So kind of spread it out. Number 3, maybe it's sort of cheating, but maybe not, because I don't know how you mention one of these names and you don't mention the others. The Lions are a very smart organization now, and they are well respected. I think it wouldn't shock anybody if they were to win a Super Bowl over the next couple of years. There was a time when they were not a smart organization. And I want to bring you back to 03, 04, 05. In 3 straight years, the Lions picked a wide receiver very high with their first pick in the draft. And we can make a case that all 3 were busts. So naturally, when they took Calvin Johnson in 07, I believe, people said the same thing, laugh. Oh, they're the Lions with the receiver again. They finally got it right, and they stopped doing that stupidity. Could you imagine? Like, a team would be laughed at 3 straight years, first-round wide receiver. Like, we know what the receiver is. Yes, they're important, but you better fix everything else. So in consecutive seasons, they took Charles Rogers, number 2, and they took Roy Williams, number 7. And who was that last one? Oh, Mike Williams. Mike Williams in 04. So 3 straight years, 3 bums. I'll call them bums for the Detroit Lions. Cried Joey Knish. That was hilarious. When the Lions were a dumb organization, they are not that anymore. Number 2 is an all-time bust. Did not make your list, and I'm happy he didn't. This is just, I remember people on that had a microphone at the time making the statement that it is so close between 1 and 2 that Ryan Leaf might be better than Peyton Manning in the NFL. I remember that. It was an impressionable time for me. And that the draft was so much bigger than it is right now. You compare this draft to that one, I mean, not even close. And the Colts never questioned Peyton Manning, but people were thinking the upside with Ryan Leaf coming out of Wazoo. You want to talk about jerks? All-time jerk, Ryan Leaf. Oh, but he's changed. He's changed. He's a different guy now. Okay, he's trying with the media career and he's doing the sports betting thing. Okay, that's fine. I do remember recently, I don't know, this came to mind because he was straight up making fun of Brad Evans and his style on the air when he was on a guest on BetMGM Tonight not that long ago. But Ryan Leaf, no question, is one of the biggest busts we've ever seen. You remember him as a rookie screaming at reporters, throwing tantrums. In the public, he acts like he's a different guy. I don't know if that's the case, but I do know he was an awful quarterback 100%, and we can all agree on that. So Ryan Leaf is number 2 on my list, and number 1 is easy. If you've listened to me on the air as a producer a while back, whatever, you know I hate Mitchell Trubisky and I hate Ryan Pace. And they are hand in hand together forever. Mitchell Trubisky's number 1. And maybe it's because I was right on it. Like, that helps a little bit. But I was screaming for years, and it was years, about Mitchell Trubisky, how much of a bum he is, and how stupid the Bears were trading up from number 3 to number 2 for no reason, because the 49ers were never going to take him, but they decided to, let's give up a 3, a 4, and a future 3. Oh, by the way, that became Fred Warner. Yeah. And you pass up Patrick Mahomes. And I know it makes sense now. but Watson was great for a short period of time before you realized what he was off the field. And Ryan Pace is one of the worst general managers I've ever seen in any sport. And I would fight with these Pace fanboys on a daily basis. These people that think Mitchell Trubisky was responsible for that 12-4 record when they had by far the best defense in the NFL. Like he was somehow responsible, and people couldn't see it. How terrible he was. The guy can barely hang on in the league anywhere. And anytime he takes a snap, the league is laughing. Mitchell Trubisky, all-time bust for me, partly because it hits close to home, but also got to mention Ryan Leaf, Lions wide receivers, and we can go a number of other ways as well, Sam. But those are the top few for me.